Good morning, it's Charlene, one half of the Flights of Fancy Stitchers, and today is February 17th, and it is 5 till 9, and I've got a much earlier start than normal, so hopefully it goes well. We were going to go on walkies this morning, but we're getting a snow-rain mix, and which we need, so I'm not going to complain. We are dry as a bone. I have Pepper down here beside me. Do you want to say hi to the peoples? No, she's going to lick the legs on my chair. Oops. Okay, I have oodles to show today. I touched 14 projects this week and did not get a stitch, no pun intended, of sewing done, but I'm almost completely caught up on my stitching for like past anniversary dates and all of those things. I have 2 more that I need to get done, not counting the anniversary date of the one for today. And then I should be back on track. So that makes me feel very good. I still need to do quotes to live by from January. And then I need to do Saturday's project, which was the heart sampler. And then, of course, like I said, the one that's due today. Preston is on snow shift all week, so I should be able to get caught up and get back on track. So we'll see. Another reason I didn't get a whole lot done with sewing, Dalton came home this weekend. He spent the Valentine's Day with his girlfriend, but he was here the rest of the weekend. Sorry, guys, I had to sneeze. 2 coming on, and now I have a cat in the window pondering evil, I'm sure. Okay, so first thing I need to show you guys, so I took down my Halloween decor. Halloween, oh my gosh, I don't even know what season it is. My Valentine decor, and I realized that I had a St. Patrick's Day project that I need to fully finish. So that is definitely on the radar for this week. I finished this one, oh gosh, I don't know when I finished it. Last fall, maybe last winter. So I just need to finish it. And I just finished these in like little quilts so I can hang them up. And this one was on 14 count. I had taken a piece of cloth and had sink dyed it with just a splash of green Rit dye powder. I want to say it was dark green. I can't remember for sure the color, but it was just enough to give it a hint of green. And then this is all the called for colors and threads and everything and buttons. And no, I don't have the pattern anymore. I gave that to Sis. So, but that one's definitely on the radar to get done. I hope you're being good, Luna. He's sitting in the window pondering the universe. Fort ornament. You can see I've got all sorts of different colors in there. Lots of black. And you'll see why in a little bit. Oh, pardon me. I grabbed my pins to mark my stuff off and then went to use my pencil. I'm on a roll. Update on chili because it's at the top of the list. Chili is a sweet potato this week. So, if you're wondering, Chili and Mommy are doing very well. And I want to say 22, 23 weeks. Yeah. Something along those lines. I will put the link down below for her Amazon registry if anybody is interested in sending her or baby a gift. No obligation, just putting it down there if you want to. Flosstubers I watched this time around. Quite a few. Pardon me. I'll be right back, guys. Sorry about that, guys. And then, of course, my phone rings as soon as I turn my computer back on. Never fails. Maybe I can get through the rest of this now without sneezing or coughing. Allergies are a real thing, guys. Okay, floss tube I've watched. Nicole with Stitching Happens. She is a very good friend, and she does a video about once a month. One of my favorite things about her channel, we always get an update about her grandbabies. And she also stitches a lot of giraffes, which just, I don't know. I'm not a giraffe person. I'm an elephant person, but her stitching is just beautiful. So I always enjoy watching hers. Jackie with Stitch List. Katie, Jeremiah's mama. Stuart and Stitches. Of course, Sarah, Stitch and Mommy. Mandy Parker. Stitching B82. That's what she is on Instagram. She does a lot of full coverages. And then, of course, Crafty Emily. And then lastly, this is a new one to me. She said she got quite a kick out of my comment last week about the color of pink for, I'm still here, I'm getting puppy's rope. The color of pink fabric that I use for my rooster. But it's Jandi, Jandi Sews. And I watched her last video. Hillary, I think was the lady's name that they did a tandem video together. They have some really, really cool projects. A lot of really pretty stuff. So I recommend them. I'm not sure if she's new to Flosstube. She only had a few videos out, so I'm not positive. But anyway, I will link everybody down below so you guys can go and check them out and go from there. Numbers for the month, and this is as of last night, 8,498. For the year, I am at 23,240. So I am on track to maybe not beat, let's get our book, shall we? I won't beat last year, because last year I had over 18,000, but I could very potentially beat 23 and 24, which was almost 13,023 and almost 14,024. So the potential is there. This book, as you guys know, is for my temperature stitching. I did not get to temperature stitching this week. I kept track of my temperatures, but I did not pick up my temperature piece. I'm really mad at the universe right now because it's going to be probably 3 different colors for all of last week. So I might get to that today. We'll see what the day brings. I can't work on that while I'm working on my video because I use my tablet to do Pattern Keeper, and that's what I'm doing my videos on. So we'll see. Okay, so I have 14 projects that I touched this week. I told you guys I was busy. And as you can see, reading all my chicken scratch in here, last week I had anniversary date projects every day. So let's see, I came to you guys on the 9th. So on the 9th I had 1. On the 10th I had 2. The 11th I had 2. 12, 1, 13, 1, 14, 1, 15, 1, and then none yesterday. Or no, on 15th I did not. On the 15th I had my stitching shelf because it was Sunday. So I had a lot of projects to touch. So this is going to be kind of like a goofy, very shrunk down whip parade. I've been keeping my lists, because I have all sorts of lists, updated. I need to get a new one printed out because I have lots of changes, but I was kind of trying to get through this last week because there were so many changes and whatnot that I wanted to get them done. Hang on just a second. What are you doing? You're being ornery. Oh, it's getting warm in here. We are supposed to be like in the 60s or 70s today, even with snow and rain, because it's just so warm. It's absolutely crazy, guys. All right, and these are going to be in no particular order. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get to Kitty? Yeah, Kitty will kick your butt. Kitty will kick your butt. Okay, so first up I'm going to show you was Fizzy Moon with Love. This was a project that came out of it was like an extra with a World of Cross Stitch magazine. And I couldn't even tell you which one it was in, to be honest with you. I've had it that long. I'm trying to find my actual picture of this. I had to make 2 working copies. I made, of course this was when I was blind, I made a copy of the pattern, and then I made a copy of the pattern for the back stitch, because the back stitch on this is crazy. So let me see if I can show it to you. There we go. If it'll focus. So that's what he's going to look like when he's done. And I put a total of 146 stitches in him today, or this past week. I actually worked on him. Let me go back to my journal here. Stop. Be good. I worked on him on the 11th and the 12th, and I put in a total of 146 stitches. I think I said that. And I'll put a picture up of where I was, or where it was before I started working on it. And that's where I got to. So backstitch into the flower, a little bit into his face and whatnot. Did the words on the little card, and then I think I did most of the stitching. Yeah, I think I did most of the stitching over here of the actual X's. A lot of it was backstitch though. So that one was fun. Now that I can see really well, and I was using, which I don't know what I was thinking, but I was using a rounded pointed needle, and it for the backstitch to pierce the threads and whatnot, and I'm like, no. So I went and got me an actual like sewing needle, and it's working very well. I don't know why I hadn't done it before, but that's a past Charlene thing. I'm not sure why. This is a project bag that I had made, and just real simple zips on top, nothing fancy. Okay. Next, so this one, and I'm not going to take this out of the hoop because you can see everything. So as you guys know, I spun for a new full coverage piece on Sunday, and it came out to be my stained glass elegance, which is my Christmas tree that I started in July, and it's from the Keepsake 2024 calendar. And this is what it will look like when it's finished. I have a sincere obsession with anything stained glass. I love it. It's so pretty. I will put a picture in of the very measly start that I had. I mean, it was literally a start to say, hey, started this. I am doing this one on just a simple 14 count white Ada because it is a full coverage, and I'm hoping to frame it as close to, either with the frame or with the mat, as close to the picture as I can, so I don't have to worry about what the fabric looks like or anything. And this is where I have gotten to in the last 2 days. So since I got back to work on it, 239 stitches. I put in 130 yesterday, and I put in 109 on Sunday. So, and every time I pick this up, because there's so much black, I'm trying to do a strand of black, and then like this one I did yesterday, I did a strand of black, and then I was able to put in this red and put in that light green, which gave me, because I'm trying to do at least 100 or more stitches. So, and my pins are for counting my border down so I don't mess up. So I'm really happy with that one. It's going to be really pretty. And I just messed up my paper clip. I'm on a roll, guys. Okay. And I told you guys I didn't touch my temperature stitching this week, which I'm sad. But like I said, I was very frustrated with where the colors are, which again, it's nobody's fault. It's just that's where the temperatures are at right now, which is sad. But all right, I worked on this one yesterday. This one's anniversary date was actually last Friday, and I put 139 stitches into this one, and I worked on it. I think I did, yeah, I did this one yesterday. So this one is out of Emma Congdon's Cross Stitch for the Soul. And I always have to find the picture so I don't show the pattern. So that's what it is going to look like. And I had dyed this fabric. I think I was doing this for, it wasn't for a fairy. I can't remember. Oh, I had dyed this one originally for Morgan's teddy bear that I made her for graduation. Pretty sure that's what it was. And it looked really cute, and it would have been tight, but it would have worked out. But the outer pink of the graduation gown, even though I had backstitch on it, it was going to be a lot. So put a picture in where I was. I had not gotten a lot done on this because it's only getting love on its anniversary date. This is the fabric. That's pretty close. And then I worked down on the S, and then I came over and I did one color in the S, and I did one color in the T, and I did a total of, let me see my notes here, 134 stitches. So, and I love Emma Congdon's stuff. That one that I need to get done, Quotes to Live By, is actually from Stitchrovia, which is Emma Congdon, and I just haven't got it done. This is another bag by me, just some leftover Halloween fabric, and then I had a chunk of this very old fabric from like the 80s, and it was just right to make my lining for my bag, so worked out perfect. All right, next up I worked on oh, I gotta keep it right there or I'll forget it. I worked on the stitching shelf on Sunday, which I'm trying to do every Sunday. I'll put a picture in of what it looks like and a picture of what it looked like before. And I only put in 114 stitches in this one. So I'm still working in the winter part. And so I told you guys I wanted to try to get the fox done before I moved from this section up to the spring section up here. I got a little tiny bit of the bottom in this area. Here's where the fox is. And hang on, guys. Sorry, guys. Told you. We'll get through this. All right. So where I worked at right here, though, in this general area is where the fox is going to be. So there is hope that I might have the fox done before I'm done with it. But I worked there. I worked in this blue right here. This is kind of like the highlight or the shadow around the lady that's sitting here reading. And then I picked up 939 because I had a couple bits of confetti over here and then came back over here with it. And this is the spine of a book right there. So yeah, I was happy with what I got done on it. I wanted to give it more time, but I was cramming to try and get a lot of stuff done on Sunday. So, and this is my very huge bag that I've made. This is my bag that when I travel, I put a ton of projects in here. My only complaint is that it doesn't zip on the top, but I set it down by my feet on the floorboard of the pickup, so it doesn't really need to be zipped anyway. It's not when I take on like flights or something like that, so it works fine. Let's see, I told you how many stitches, and then my percentage on that one, I am at 5.82% done, so making good progress on that one. All right, next up, this is my no anniversary date stitch for the entire month of February. And this is Lilac Basket. And it's out of this book. And there's a close-up of what it will look like. And I will put a picture in of what it looked like last time we saw it. And I'm trying to see, did I write down my totals? I did not. I know it was over 100 stitches a day that I put in. There was a couple that I actually put in. There was one day I put in over 200 stitches. So it's making and seeing good progress. It is completely done. Let me see if I can find it so I can tell you exactly. It is completely done from the edge. So where my finger's at, where that back stitch ends, from here over, it's all the way done. So all of the back stitch, all of this, everything. And it's really wrinkled. No, I don't iron my stuff. So when I pick this back up, I need to come up here, and you can see that I'm missing a chunk of wallpaper, so to say, right there, and then come back over here and finish working it in there. And then I need to do some back stitch, get caught up in this white, and then bring the basket over. I got all of this back stitch. It was kind of keeping me from working my way over. So yeah, it's looking very pretty. I love those purples. They're so pretty. And the pattern, I would say I'm almost halfway done. As far as, the division of the 2 pages. And I should be able to get it at least to that halfway point, if not further, before I put it up for February. So I'm happy with that. It's going to be at least 2,800 stitches ahead of where it was when I picked it up. So, that's good, right? Every stitch counts. I knew that I wouldn't get it done this month because there was too much left to do on it. But, hey, I'm just happy I'm working on it. All right, let's see. Next up, let's look at the Wave Star. So the Wave Star, I got 239 stitches in it because I had 2 NBA games that I stitched for. It is now at 97.20%, and I have, looks like 5 colors left. It's doing really well. And we've got 2 games, so we're on the All-Star break right now, which Jamal and Joker both made the All-Star team. And Jamal absolutely flopped at the 3-point competition, but that's okay. So we will go back, we will start back to playing. Oh, and I will put a picture in of what the pattern looks like. And I will put in a before picture from last week. Sorry, guys. I have from basically that blue over, and then I have, doopy-doo, from my needle down to here. So just that little area. And I think, I want to say it's 277 stitches is all I have left. So we have a game on the 19th and a game on the, I didn't grab that notebook, 21st, 20th, 21st. Depending upon what our scores are, because again, 277, I might just go ahead and finish this. I'll see. I'm loving how it's looking. And I'm so happy that it's going to be done, and I'm going to have time to get it matted and framed for Dalton's birthday. So that makes me very happy. Okay, this one I will have to put, oops, I just dropped my thread. That's not good. So this one is called Mini Bouquet. It is a Jeanette Douglas, and it was, I don't know if it still is, so you guys will have to go on and check it out, but I'll put a picture in of the finished. So she released these individually, so I'll show you what, let me see if I've got just a picture of, yeah. So she released these individually on her, I think it's on her Facebook page. It might be on her website. I can't remember. I think it's on her website. So this is the January one. And then this is also the February one. And those are the only two that, sorry guys, I gotta get a drink. These are the only two that I have printed out to work from. They did not download well into Pattern Keeper, and so I just printed out the copy. The pineapple one is going to be different, and you can see by the picture that I showed you that it won't have the welcome across it, because I'm going to do the entire, and I'm not treating this as 12 plus the border. This is just one project. But I had a very meager start on it, which you'll see. And I'm hoping, so let me show you all the yummy threads. They're so pretty. And I'm hoping that this is going to show up. And again, this is that titty pink. It's very, very pale, and of course it's completely washing out. I don't even know if I can get it to. It's not. It's super, super pale. It's just a 14 count Ada, and I'm pretty sure that this was another Sink dye with just a splash of pink. But this is what I put into when I stitched on it, and I stitched on this one on Wednesday for its anniversary date. I did 119 stitches, and I worked, and you can actually see it. I put in 2 different shades of green, and then this border was what my meager start was. So I'm happy with it. This is going to go hand in hand with some plans for next year, and yes, I have been inspired by a couple Flosstubers of, yeah, I've got my plans for 26 done, but ooh, I want to do this for 27, and I'm like, yes, please. So I'm jumping on that bandwagon, and I have a whole notebook page of ideas that I will share with you. I don't know where I'm going to put this. I guess I'll put it right here, because I don't want Puppy to be tempted. But I really enjoy that one, and I love all of the pretty threads that are in it. I'm kind of wishing that I had done a different border, but as you can see by the picture that I put up, the borders, the middle border, basically the outside border, it's grits, so it's very light, so it's not, you know, huge in your face contrast on that fabric. But then the middle borders in between are the greens and the reds and the pinks and whatnot, and so I'm going to stay the course. I'm happy with that. I think it's going to work out fine. Okay, next one was A Good Marriage, and I worked on this one on the 13th. Its anniversary date was actually on the 12th, but that's okay. And I put 104 stitches into this one, and I can't show you. I'm doing all of the Call for colors on this one, so it's mostly specialty threads, and then there's also Fingers Won't Work, and then there's also some DMCs. And this is the pattern, and I will show you where I was before. And then this is a piece, I can't remember if Morgan or I done this one. I can't remember. But I know it was a sink dye. And I worked, basically, I worked on Part of Gratitude, and then I picked up, I can't remember what color that was. It was a green. And I came up here and I worked in this. So, and this is another one that I'm going to put into my 2027 plans, which is, again, we'll talk about here in a minute. Her nose is right under my chair, so if anything falls, it would probably end drastically, or at least it does at the kitchen table. All right. Let's see. Next up is my Quaker flag. My Quaker flag I have put in, I don't have a percentage, I'm sorry, but I'm doing this for my Olympic stitching, and I will put a picture in here, and I will put in a picture of where it was before. I am doing this for my Olympic stitching, and this is on a piece of 14 count fiddler's cloth, oatmeal, whatever you want to call it. It's huge. But, so this is how wide it's going to be across. Hopefully you can see that. But I got to the bottom. So another one of my goals is to cut off this excess and hem it. Because this is the same fabric that I'm using for my calendar girls. So that will be nice to put it to the side with that for my travel pieces. So like I said, I got to the bottom. You can see I made quite a bit of progress on my back part. Started a little bit of the red. This block is completely finished. And you can see it. I got all of the white done in this one, and then I came over and I started the white in that one. And I'm trying to do 100 plus stitches every day of the Olympics. I don't know if I said it or not, but 1,345 is what I've gotten done so far. And again, this is another one that will go in with my plans for 27, which I will share with you at the end. This is another bag that I had made. This was, hold that thought. This is one of the last shirts, last fabric that I made my dad before he passed away. Very Western. And then this was a piece that I had used to make Dalton a shirt out of. So I combined the two for my project bag. My dad was a very, very patriotic man. My dad would be very, very disappointed with where our amazing country has gone to. But that was because he was a very, very strong patriotic man. Okay, where are we at now? Let's see. On the 14th, I worked on Dalton's project, which is the Star Wars dogfight. And this is what the pattern looks like. I have not been on Awesome Pattern Studios Etsy page for a while, so I don't know what she still has available. You'll just have to go on and check. When I did look, I was on there looking for a different chicken, because that's where my rooster came from, but I did not check the Star Wars stuff. So I don't know if she still has that stuff available or not. But if you're interested, go check her out. Go check out her Etsy page. So this one I only put in 127 stitches, and it is now at 13.31% complete. And I will put a picture in of what it looked like before. I basically worked in this corner up here, and I'm trying to get to the edge here and then work my way down. Excuse me. This color right here, I think it's 948. The majority of the background is 948, and so, and it's light, so I'm trying to make sure and do a swath of it when I pick it up, but I needed to get over to that corner so I can work on that next time. But at 13% done, I think it's doing pretty well. Can't complain. All right, let's see if I've got everything else here that I worked on. I did not touch my butterfly forest or my temperature stitching, which I already said, because like I said, I wanted to get all of this done. So this one, oh, it's anniversary date. Hang on. It was early in the week. It was on the 9th, so it was the day that I filmed. And I put in 106 stitches, and it still has a thread on it. And it is out of this book, or magazine, from June of '09. And I actually started this one in, I don't know if I started this one in 22 or 24. I think I started this one in 22. So this is what it'll look like. It's so pretty. And I'll put a before where I was at. So I basically just worked in a vase. Worked on, I know for sure 2, maybe 3 different golds and yellows in here. So, but yeah, this one is one that I have on my list of, and I don't have a pretty project bag for this. This has a really exciting Ziploc bag. This one is on my list to get done, you know, on the wheel of 26, 27, whatever it was. Yeah. Okay, I have 3 more. And something tells me I don't have all 3 of them in here. I'm wondering what I've done with. I'm going to have to go on a hunt. All right, this one is Black Work Heart. I worked on this one on the 10th for 233 stitches. And this one is out of Keepsakes 2022. And I do not have a good picture of this one. Yeah. So this is what it looks like finished. And I love this one. It's only, I think, 6 colors, 5, 6 colors. I mean, it's, yeah. I always have to stop and think about which direction this one is. I put the leaves intentionally at the bottom, so I knew I would remember. So when I worked on this one, I picked up some gray and I finished up, which you'll see from the previous picture. And then I worked on the pink, got some pink done, and then I picked up the black, and I finished the black work in here, and then I came over here and done some black over here. So, Luna. So I'm really happy with this one. I love this one. Morgan and I were talking about this one when I was working on it, and I told her, I said, this is one of those that I would never give away. And then we joked because I've made her 4 black work pieces. I'm like, okay, well, I might give it to you, but black work is, and besides the fact that I absolutely loathe backstitch, but I love black work, so it's my mind. All right, I am going to have to go on a hunt for this other project. Luna, hang on just a second, guys. Okay, guys, I have no idea what happened. I think I already put it up, but I will put in pictures. So the other anniversary project was Morning Stretch. It's a piece that I'm doing for Dalton. I'll put in a picture of what it looks like. It's a Ruth Thompson. And I worked on it on the 10th, and I put in 118 stitches. So I will put in before and afters for you guys so you can see that. I think I put it up the other day by accident because I'm not finding it, or it's thread case. So I'm going to assume that's what I did. Let's hope that's what I did. But it is setting at 2.29% complete. And then the last one, so this was my full coverage piece for the first half of February. And this is Emerald. And I put in a total from the 1st to the 14th of 1,619 stitches, bringing me to 11.38% complete. I'll put a previous picture in for you. And this is where I got to. So this row complete down to here. So I'm happy with that. I'm still really bitter with this one because I didn't do my count right, my measurement right, but it's going to be fine. It's always fine. It's just the idea that I screwed up. But there's worse things, right? Okay, so all that being said, my plans for next week, and it's obviously a short week because I'm coming to you on Tuesday instead of on Monday. I will work on the Wave Star, which basketball stitching. I'll keep working every day on Lilac Basket. Stained Glass Elegance is my full coverage focus for the rest of the month, so it will get at least 100 stitches a day. Anniversary stitching will continue this next week. Today I have the bear, which is part of the, I always forget, Cottage Garden Samplings. Anyway, Year in the Woods. So I have the bear that I will work on today. And then on the 19th, the anniversary project is 324. And I noticed, I saw something on, oh my gosh, I can't remember whose page it was. It's for this year's release that she's going to have. And it was like a swirly. It was really cool. I might entertain that one because, you know, I need another project. And then on Saturday, I will work on Ocean Beauty for Morgan's birthday piece. So I have 3, like I said, that are anniversary stitching, and then I have one from last week, and I have Quit, and then I have Quotes to Live By that I still need to get done, or, you know, still need to do my yearly stitching on. Oh, and then I'll have Stitching Shelf too. And then I need to catch up on my temperature stitching because temperature stitching. And then, of course, the largest elephants in the room are all of my quilts. So those are my plans. I don't really have any news per se. Everybody's doing good. Dalton will be back home in 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks he'll be back home. And then, yeah, that's Preston's on snow shift all week. That's about it. So, I will talk fast because we're 45 minutes in. Yeah, 2027. But Charmaine, you need to get through 2026. Yes, thank you, I know. So, as I showed you guys, there were quite a few projects that had kind of like, and I can't reach it. Yes, I can. Close up. So remember I told you guys, okay, I was going to do this last year and I failed. So now we're going to try and do it again this year and not fail. Let's see how easy this is to break up. And I said, okay, a line a month, I could have this done by Christmas, right? Okay. I have a ridiculous number of pieces. When I say ridiculous, let's count, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 projects that, ironically, 12 months in the year. Anyway, I digress. That could be broken down into monthly bits. Now, we know that I have some projects for 27 that I have to get done. Like it's not up for discussion. I have got to make a tremendous dent in the dragon piece, the morning stretch that I still don't know what I've done with, which is very not like me. Because that's Dalton's graduation gift for May of 28. I've got to put a dent in it. There's 160-some thousand stitches in that. I would really like to get my stitching shelf a good chunk of that done because that was my leap year start and I really wanted to finish it by leap year of 28. Those are two projects that with Absolution I want to make sure and try to get done next year. One of the things that I'm looking at is I have, I think, 11. Where's that list? Hang on. I have 11 projects that do not have, I think it's 11. Hang on. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. So these are projects that do not have start dates. These are projects that either I started before, well, I know I started before I started keeping track of my start dates, or I did not know with Absolution what their start dates were. And I have put them on a wheel to work on them every month this year. The only one that's not on that list is Ocean Beauty, and that's the one for Morgan, because that is her birthday piece that I want to try and get done for her birthday. So I'm working on it a little bit differently than I am these other 12. For the last 2 years, I have tried to focus on one project for a whole month and at least put a chunk in on it. Lay down, be good. To get them done, or to make progress on them every month. That said, I think for next year, which is going to be very difficult for me to do because I like having these plans. I like saying, okay, you're going to focus on this full coverage. You're going to focus on, and that's all great. But I'm focusing on them and I'm making progress on them, but I'm not seeing any finishes. Pardon me. And I've accepted that I am very much a progress, not process stitcher. I like things done. I like things on my wall. I just realized my quilt fell down. Sorry, totally random. I need to do better about getting things finished. And I have a gazillion things that I want to start, but I feel really guilty when I start things when I have so many things to do. And this seems to be a common conversation that I have with you guys every time we do a video. I need to get better at finishes. Dalton challenged me, because it's a running joke about 31. I went to a stitching shop here in the Denver area, and at that time I don't know if I had 100 or not. I might have. And I made a comment to the lady that was working there, and she was really kind of salty, and I don't know, she just wasn't pleasant. And she says, well, I only have 31. And it stuck with me. And it's always, of course, Preston and Dalton were with me. And it's been a running joke ever since that you need to get your whips down to 31. So he challenged me this year. He says, I want you to get 31 projects done this year. And I'm like, okay. I said, does it count Christmas ornaments? He goes, I don't care. I want to see you finish 31 things. February 17th, I have one. One? Yeah. I finished my rooster. One. I need to get busy. So I was looking at this list, and I was looking at what I have that, okay, take out what I've done for the last 2 years, counting this year. Take out focusing on those full coverages. Take out working on those anniversary date projects. Like, abandon those two things, again, which is very difficult for my brain, because that's how I feel like I can touch all my projects every year. And focus on monthly goals. And I still want to keep my MBA stuff. I've really enjoyed, and you've seen I've almost got the wave done. I really enjoyed doing my football stuff. I got my chicken done and my rooster done. I had a project that I wanted to do for my hockey stuff. Nope. That's going to change. That's going to get done next year. My Rockies suck, so I'm not even going to bother stitching for my Rockies. If the Rockies get it together, I might do a project for them, but yeah, no. And I would like to see if I could get 27 finishes on 27. I think that would be a good goal. So I wrote down everything that has a way to break it down. Now, this does not include a 12 by 12, which I've really enjoyed doing. I did really fantastic with the frogs, and if I can get myself back in gear with my butterflies, I think that will be a great focus for a finish this year too. That said, I want to take 3, 2, 4, and you'll see it next week. Take what blocks are left, divide them by 12, and say, okay, every month you're going to do however many blocks for that month. So I'm making big chunks in getting that one done. Again, with the goal of finishing it by December of 27. I have daisies, which is a rosewood manor. I don't gravitate toward that piece. And I think the main reason is because the fabric is very hard for me to see. It was very hard for me to see. So I was thinking about taking and doing one or two things. Either take a total count of how many motifs are left, because some motifs are huge, some are very tiny. Divide them by 12 and do, that equal amount each month, or do 12 motifs each month for 12 months. I don't know if I can get it finished. I don't know if there's 144 motifs left. I would have to get that one out and look at it. But at least I could make a big dent in that, because as it is now, it just languishes in the cabinet and comes out in May for its anniversary date. Festive frosting, that's another one that I need to put back on my list. We talked about this in the winter, well, in December when I was working on it. That is supposed to be coming out the 25th of every month. And I neglected to bring it out in January because, quite honestly, I forgot all about it. I need to put it into my calendar for the 25th of every month that it gets love. And so I can get that finished, because I think I've got, what, 5, 6 cupcakes left. I don't have very many left on it at all. So definitely my cupcakes. Hearts of the Kingdom, same thing with that one, with the daisies. Again, it's a Karen Kluba, Rosewood Manor. That one has a lot more done on it, and I know it doesn't have 144 motifs, but it would be a great way to count them up, divide by 12, and say, okay, go from there. Because I would love to get that one done. Same thing with Keys to the Kingdom. Same thing. One of the reasons that I absolutely despise that piece is because it is all DMC. It's like Kranick, but it's the metallic threads, and they're awful to work with, and they shred, and they're terrible. But I really, really like that piece. Again, focus on, X motifs to make a dent in that. Louise Lallier, one of my favorite pieces. Morgan was actually able to get that PDF from, I think it was Shakespeare's Peddler. So it doesn't break it out by color, but it's on Pattern Keeper, so we can mark off as we go. No, it would not get finished, but we could say, okay, every month I want to do a letter, a flower, a motif, something along those lines, to at least make some progress on it. Mini bouquet, which I showed you already. Those bouquets are super small. Like, there's absolutely no reason why you could not do a bouquet and a chunk of border every month. Even if you don't get it finished because of the border, you could at least you could at least get the motifs done and then treat the border separately. Quaker flag, that's the big one. So there are obviously 50 squares in it for 50 states. I have one done. Woohoo, go me. So I have 49. It is not unreal in the next week to say that I could finish another one, which takes us to 48. You get where I'm going with this. 12 by 48. That's 4 years. You think, that's kind of stupid. No, it's not. Because if I were to do a square every month, I don't burn myself out. I don't get tired of it. But I can get that much closer to saying, in 4 years, at least in a minimum of 4 years, I will have my flag done, which I think is very reasonable. Quotes to live by. That's a big one. I have been working on that one since 20. The majority of those blocks, minus that ginormous banner across the top, and you'll see that. I will try really hard to get my stitching done on that one so you guys can see that one. Minus that ridiculous border, the majority of those blocks are backstitch. Again, I know that I haven't worked on that one because it was hard for me to see because it was on 18 count, and when Sis dyed it, it dyed really, really tight. So quite honestly, it's more like working on a 20 or a 22 count. Excuse me. If I could focus on one of those blocks every month, there's 9 blocks, and then again, that ridiculous banner and then the border. There's no reason why it can't be done. Shabby Autumn and Shabby Summer. Those each have 21 days, I think. It's 21. There's a lot of stitching in some of those blocks, But there's no reason why a block a month could not be done on both of those. And then I could start spring and winter. And lastly, a good marriage. It's just like this one. There's no reason why I could not do a line a month. I was trying to remember, I think I counted, what did I count? A line of month, I think I said I had, I don't know, let me look. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and I have part of 2 of them done. So if I got those 2 done, so I started the new year off with exactly 12, again, that one can be done for Preston for Christmas next year. I still don't know what I'm going to do for my MBA project or my NFL project or my NHL project. Obviously, I have no idea what I'm going to do for my 12 by 12 because I want to see what kind of progress I make on some of these projects between now and the end of the year, and then come back and say, okay, that's what I want to do. For the MBA and the NHL project, I need something between 8,500 and 8,000 stitches that's left. And for my NFL project, I need something with about 42 to 4,500 stitches. Again, I need to pick something out for the NFL first, because that will start up in August. But I'll have a better grasp on a lot of my full coverages to know where I'm going to be. And then my NHL and my MBA, I think in my mind I have 2 that would fall into those categories. They might not be for a finish, but I could put a drastic dent in them if I pick those. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens. And then I will have to pick up, because NHL and NBA is September, October. So yeah, those are my plans moving forward for next year. And I'm talking about them now because I feel like if I can get my headspace where I want to focus on these and accept the fact that I don't have to touch every project every year, I think if I could do that, and then besides the fact again of taking on my son and saying, okay, I'm gonna finish 31 projects this year, that's going to take a huge amount out of my rotation. I still need to start my next sampler, which I have not done yet. So now I am 2 behind. Hi, do you want to say hi? Oh, come here. Come here. Say hi to the humans. No, you don't want to say hi to the humans. This is Luna. But if I can do that, then again, that guilt of these projects that, yes, I'm touching, but they're not making any headway would feel better. So there you go. That's where my mind has been in working on my projects and what I want to do. But I like the idea of doing this, and there's 12 projects. There's an average of 4 months or 4 weeks in a month. You divide that and you say, okay, I work on 3 different projects for each week. I mean, it's doable and it doesn't feel as heavy, if that makes sense. And maybe you could even put them into a wheel and say, okay, I'm going to work on, this project for, I don't know, there's 1,000 different ways that you could do this so everyone gets attention, but you don't get tired of working on something. Anyway, that's a future Charlene problem. But I thought I would, cast them out to the universe now that that's what I'm going to ponder, and you guys can hold me accountable. And then I get my mind that I don't have to have those focuses. And maybe my 2 focus full coverages for next year are solely my stitching shelf and my morning stretch for Dalton for graduation. And yes, I know somewhere in there I have to put in Christmas stockings too. But those, I want those done, and those are a thought process for me. But I think if I can get these plans into a way that my mind will make them work, like I have these others, I think that these are very doable to be successful accomplishments. Are you getting tired of me talking to the peoples? I think she's getting tired. Do you want to say hi? Let me see if I can get her up. I got her. She's getting so big. I don't even know if I can. Oh my goodness. She's getting so big. She's super sweet, and she's learned so many things. Yeah. You went down. You're a wiggle worm. Yes, you are. You're my wiggle worm. She likes to lay up on the bed with me when Preston takes a shower at night. That's like her treat. So anyway, and her and her sister play all the time. I think she's been so good for Snoopy. So anyway, all right guys, I went on for over an hour. Thank you for sticking with me, and I would love any of your thoughts or your inputs, and I will wish you a great day. Thanks for joining me. Bye.